Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam Academy. So today we are going to discuss about an interesting topic and which became so much viral in last 2 days is what is the most human way of ending a person's life. So why this question is being asked, right? Because recently if you have come across news, there is one famous thing that happened in USA, that is one person was sentenced to death, okay, by injecting nitrogen gas. So with respect to this, there is lot of debate going on. So whether this is so much cruel or whether it is a violation of human right or whether this is acceptable way of executing a person's life, all these are the questions before the world now, okay. So in this context, we are going to discuss about what is the reason, okay. So what is the reason behind awarding such harsh punishments? For that you need to know which are the countries that are practicing death penalty and what are the ways they are following, what is the practice we are adopting in India, what is the current status and what are the Supreme Court judgments and what happened in this case of USA persons ending life in Alabama, the state of Alabama. So all these many interesting things we are going to discuss in this video, okay. So stay tuned till then. Here, what is a matter of discussion? It is nitrogen hypoxia, okay. What is this hypoxia means? So injecting nitrogen into person's body, so he will breathe only nitrogen but not oxygen, okay. So then he will be left unconscious and he will die, okay. So that is the condition. We will discuss in this in detail, why it is in news, what about nitrogen gas, what is meaning of this nitrogen hypoxia, how does it work, what is the concern of global countries and the world also with respect to this practice, and evolution of death penalty initiatives, okay. What is the reason why we are going for these type of initiatives, and also what is the status of death penalty in India, okay. So many other things also we are going to discuss, so stay tuned. So here it is part of GS mains, okay, GS paper 2 in mains, in especially as part of social justice, okay. So you know, okay, recently a person, okay, so a prisoner who was charged with murder, okay, in the state of Alabama, so he was sentenced to death by injecting nitrogen gas through a respiratory mask and he was like subjected to death, okay. So what is the reason behind this is that is the practice that they have adopted in the recent times, but what is the practice they used to follow till the recent times is they used to follow lethal injections, okay. So US is following the practice. In India, you know, many people, okay, who are awarded with death sentence, they will be awarded death sentence and they will be hanged to death. That is a practice we are following in India, okay. So with respect to this also, Supreme Court has asked center in the recent times that whether death penalty, okay, is actually required or hanging by death is the correct way or any other best human way is there to end a person's life in case of the rarest of the cases also. So there are many questions, and some countries are arguing that death penalty should not be there actually because this is a violation of human right. Right to life is a basic human right. So Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948, okay, so that is a basic human right. So these are the things, and some countries are saying no, if at all these type of harsh punishments are not there, then it will violate or it will be against the societies and societal norms because the fear and deterrence will not be there. So there are so many questions, but before this we'll go one by one. So here a man was executed in the state of Alabama. This is a state in USA. For the first time they have sentenced this person to death by injecting nitrogen gas, okay, that is called nitrogen hypoxia. So what about nitrogen gas? So you need to know, because nitrogen is the most abundant element in the atmosphere, right? Almost 78% of our Earth's atmosphere is filled with nitrogen. Next place is oxygen, you know, right? We study in geography. So if you say this is a colorless and odorless, odorless means there won't be any smell, okay. So and you know it is the fifth most abundant element in the earth, okay, inside the earth. But if you see in the its atmosphere, it is making up almost 78%. So if you have seen, it is a basic building block of many molecules even in the body to make proteins, amino acids and all these things also. The body requires nitrogen. So what is a natural sources? Atmosphere, you know, lightning also produces nitrogen, and coal, through like burning of coal and fossil fuels also nitrogen will be released, okay. So you know N2O, this is the harmful greenhouse gas we have, nitrous oxide we call, right, okay, ammonia and all these things. So then you have uses. What is the use of this particular nitrogen gas? It is used in making of light bulbs and food industry. So you might have, everyone have this habit of eating lace and all, right, okay. Lace chips eppudina observe cheste lace lo ప్యాకెట్లో ఫుల్ ఉండవు చిప్స్, ఓకే. సో బాటంలో కొన్ని చిప్స్ ఉంటాయి, పైనంత ఎయిర్ ఉంటుంది, దట్ ఎయిర్ ఇస్ ఫిల్డ్ విత్ నైట్రోజన్, ఓకే. సో ఈవెన్ వాటర్ బాటిల్స్లో కూడా ద ఎంటీ స్పేస్ దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో ఫిల్డ్ విత్ నైట్రోజన్. సో దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ పొల్యూషన్ కంట్రోల్ ఆల్సో. ఇన్ దిస్ ఆల్సో we are using this nitrogen gas, okay. So this is a use of nitrogen gas, and do remember it is a inert gas. What is the meaning of inert gas? It is very hard to break down, or it is very unresponsive to chemical reactions. It does not easily react with other elements, okay. So that is the meaning of inert gas. So it is very difficult to break the bond of that nuclear nitrogen molecule and all. Then you have nitrogen hypoxia. So this is a situation where, okay, normally we breathe in oxygen and we exhale a carbon dioxide, right? But in this situation, instead of oxygen, through a respiratory mask, a person will be injected only nitrogen, okay. So there won't be any oxygen intake by that person, and he'll only take nitrogen inside, because of which he will be like unconscious in a sooner time only, and then he will lose his life, okay. So in this particular instance, the persons, okay, so entire world made criticism that this person has lost life almost after 22 minutes of subjection to this nitrogen hypoxia. So some persons who have observed, okay, the jail authorities and all, who have observed that person and like ending his life and all, they have observed this like the situation is similar like a fish which is out of water. You know, whenever the fish out of aquarium or out of the pond, if it goes, okay, so then it will struggle, right, to keep its life alive. So the same situation, the persons have referred that person's situation in that nitrogen hypoxia is similar to like a fish which is out of water, okay. So this is a situation where high concentration of nitrogen replaces oxygen, okay, which disables the respiratory system, because nitrogen cannot be easily will not be intaked into the body, okay. So and also it results in the death of the person, okay. So this is one of the thing. And you know what is the process? So how they will be administering this process is, that person will be he will be asked to sleep on a bed or a platform type of thing, and then they will be tying all his hands and all legs and all these things, and then they'll ask that person to have a respiratory face mask type of thing. Through that respiratory mask, this nitrogen gas will be injected inside, so that person will be he will intake only this nitrogen instead of oxygen. So slowly increase of nitrogen happens inside the body, okay, and also that person will be unconscious in a shorter time only, and then he will lose his life, okay. Even if you have remembered, increased nitrogen nutrient enrichment also results in one condition we study in environment is eutrophication, right, okay. That is increase in intake of nitrogen or nutrients, okay. So that also results in algal bloom, eutrophication. The same thing happens here. So some persons, or this is a situation, okay, this person will be induced into unconsciousness followed by death. Some persons are criticizing this is a violation of constitutional ban on this cruel punishments, because this is the most cruel according to some persons, a form of punishment. Then capital punishment using this nitrogen gas, okay. This situation where they are using this nitrogen gas to end a person's life, that is called nitrogen asphyxiation, okay. You know, this is a first new method of execution after lethal injection. Lethal injection is nothing but a method where harmful chemicals will be injected into. Lethal means something which will end our life, okay. So prana hani unnavaina emaina kuda, okay. So whenever this happens, so harmful chemicals will be injected, so that will end that person's life. So US started using this since 1982, okay. So before that they also used to follow the practice by hanging only, but from 1982 they shifted to lethal injection. Some states previously have used hydrogen sulfide also, H2S you call, right, hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen sulfide also they have used. This is also poisonous gas. So some states have used this, but this is the first time that they have used nitrogen gas to end a person's life. And the first state to use this is Alabama. This is a country part of USA. You know, he took 22 minutes to end his life, okay. This is a entire procedure, and it is a third state, okay. So officially who authorized to use nitrogen, and other states are Oklahoma and you have Mississippi. So these are the two states which have already authorized, but they didn't use this, okay. So then lethal injection means, I told you, injecting one or more drugs into a person so that it will cause death of the person. Capital punishment, this is also most famous type of capital punishment across many countries, okay, which are practicing. So what about the death penalty in India? So now if you see, so many persons in the recent times across the world, there are global movements saying that anti-death penalty initiatives should be adopted by every country, because knowingly or unknowingly, because of societal pressures or social problems, some persons are turning into like murderers or the rapists or something. Okay, so it is the society or the social problems which are making, and no person is like you can say he is not born crime, right? So these are the statements and these are the ideas that the world is believing in the recent times, and they're asking for anti-death penalty or abolishment of this capital punishment. So what is the status in India is very important from our examination perspective. Okay, so if you see, death penalty means whenever a person has committed heinous crime or very like a very hard crime, or you can say very most serious crime like murder, rape, all these things, then a person is awarded death penalty in India. Okay, so previously death penalty is awarded in very serious offences only, but now in the recent times, because of increasing importance of human rights and all these things, so there is a debate going on whether this death penalty should be retained or it can be like taken back. So this situation is where, what is the situation, what is the reason is, here you need to know why actually we need to give punishments. Okay, so if you just need to know, in criminal law there are some theories of punishment. Okay, so what are those theories of punishment? Quickly I'll just explain. So in this you have first theory is retributive theory. Okay, this is one of the basic classical theory of punishment. Retributive theory means if that person have done murder, so same way he should also be subjected to murder and he should end his life. That means eye for eye, tit for tat, you say, right? Eye for eye. This is the basic concept, means whatever that person have committed, same offense will be committed on him. By that way we are awarding punishment so that it will instill fear. Okay, then second thing is we have deterrence theory. Okay, deterrence theory means deter means to stop. Okay, to how you want to stop these persons means you want to create fear. That means these type of things like death penalty, capital punishment, okay, or awarding harsh punishments. If you award these things, then a person, he will deter or he will be stopped from committing crime. In this way we want to reduce the level of crime in the society. Then you have preventive theory. Okay, in preventive theory we just wanted we are not waiting till the crime happens and all, we just want to prevent the happening of crime, even by educating and keeping awareness among the people and all. So this is a preventive theory. Then last theory, in the recent times most famous, or you can say the most number of people are believing in this particular theory of punishment, that is reformative theory. It is saying that you should not focus more on punishment, but you should focus on reforming the person. Okay, so the criminal should be reformed and he should be made into a good citizen. Okay, law abiding citizen, you can say. In this way reformative theory is focusing upon. So these are the four theories of punishment. And if you see this deterrence theory, that is where the death penalty and capital punishments are awarded. Okay, so here what is the issue? In India we are also following this theory of deterrence. Okay, previously in ancient times we used to have retributive theory and all, but most of the countries either they're following deterrence theory or retributive theory, reformative theory. Okay, so here what is the reason is, we want to instill fear, means we want to stop crime from happening by creating fear by giving these punishments, hard punishments. So where death penalty is awarded in case of heinous crimes or any traumatizing offenses. Okay, so where the society will get impacted, because crime is a social problem. It does not only impact that individual, but it impacts the society also. Then what happens in the recent times, death penalty in India report. Okay, according to this report, last year itself, that is in 2022, okay, almost in 165 persons were awarded death sentenced in India. Okay, so this is a data you can write whenever a question was asked on death penalty. Then what is the basic thing? You know, Article 21 and Article 39A, these are the two things which you have to remember. Article 21 is saying that there is everyone, every person is having right to life and personal liberty. Okay, so it cannot be taken back except by procedure established by law. That is a basic tenet, right? And you know, Article 39A, this was added by 42nd Amendment in 1976, which is which is helping the people, okay, in getting free legal aid in case if they are not affordable to pay the lawyer's fee or advocate fee, then free legal aid has to be provided by the state itself, okay. So in these situations, that means we wanted to provide more justice, equitable justice. So in these situations, this death penalty is also one main issue that is getting discussed, okay. And you can say Indian Penal Code, you know, previously we used to follow, okay, in the till recent times also, IPC is the only criminal law, okay, we have where the punishments will be given for specified crimes. So this was replaced now by Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, you know, okay. Recently we have passed this particular act, it became an act also. So IPC, you know, it was enacted in 1860. So in 1860, for what crimes death penalty can be awarded means, if you wage a war against the government, okay, it can be central government or state government, in section 121, abetting mutiny actually committed, that is 132, giving or fabricating false evidence upon which innocent person suffers death, okay, under section 194 of IPC, and murder. And also in case if there is a minor gang rape and all these situations also, to enhance this deterrence, we have created these type of things in which death penalty can be awarded, okay. So then legal remedies available. So normally when death penalty is awarded for any person, okay, so what are the options before him? Is it this execution is the only last option, but before that there are so many other options. If a trial, like you can own district sessions judge also can award death penalty, but if that person has awarded death penalty, then it should be confirmed by the state high court. Even if there is appeal or not also, that person's death penalty should be confirmed by the state high court. That is a provision you study under judiciary, subordinate judiciary especially, okay. Then second thing is, that is the first option available, that means high court should confirm it. If high court confirms, then he can go on review petition or appeal, okay. So review petition before Supreme Court, this article 137 of Supreme Court is there. Supreme Court under article 137 has the power to review some orders and judgments passed by the lower courts, okay, because it is the apex court of India and it is the highest court, and it all the Supreme Court's orders and directions are binding on all the courts and even on the government also. That is a thing, you know. Then what happens after review petition? He can go for curative petition. Curative means a petition which is filed for getting some cure, okay. So that can also be one option. Then second option, third option is mercy petition. Mercy petition means, you know, in case if Supreme Court also has upheld the same sentence or of awarding death penalty, then that person can approach, whom he can approach? Under article 72 he can approach President of India, and article 161 he can approach governor. But do remember, death penalty can be pardoned only by President of India. Governor cannot pardon death sentence. He can just commute or remit the sentence, that's it, okay. He cannot pardon the death sentence. So these are the options available, but before any person who have been awarded with death penalty. So you know what are the arguments in favor and against should be known, okay. So retribution means like you are killing one person and your life is also getting killed in case if you commit a crime, eye for eye or life for life, you can say. And deterrence means it is able to create some fear among the society so that people will try to decrease the level of crime from happening and all. Cost effective means this is the easiest way, okay. So if you are using the police force or using surveillance and all this is very it is costly affair, but if you are creating fear through punishments, it is somewhat cost effective. And respect for law, okay. So respect for law means like death sentence is awarded, means if you have remembered article 21, that is saying no person can be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. Means if law itself is awarding death penalty, like IPC is awarding death sentence for some situations, then we are abiding, that means we have to respect the law. Then public safety is also the paramount thing for the state. For those reasons we have to award death penalty. But some arguments are also there which are against death penalty. What are those? Risk of executing innocent people. So many people, okay, and they don't if they don't have money to challenge the decision awarded by one court. As I told you, article 39A, that is free legal aid to the poor, although that is there, but you might have seen in different movies also that innocent people will be framed unnecessarily and they don't have that much much capacity financially and socially also to influence or to get proper justice. Okay, so that is one situation. And you know, it does not deter crime. Even after awarding death penalties also, we could not stop rapes or murders from happening, right? So it is not the solution. Awareness or education is one solution according to some people who believe in this. Then it is like one of the discriminatory application, because how you can discriminate? Okay, so like if a person have committed similar crime, sometimes you are awarding life imprisonment with rigorous life imprisonment with rigorous punishments or something. Okay, but sometimes you're awarding death penalty. So this is creating some discriminatory practice, and you know, it violates human rights. Taking a person's life is not actual human right. Okay, right? And then possibility of rehabilitation, because if in that person has committed that murder or some offense in some situation, okay, so he might have lost his mind in that situation. But in case if you rehabilitate or reform that person, okay, he can become a law abiding citizen and all. So in this way, this is also rehabilitation can be done. That is one argument. And other alternatives also exist, like you can award that person with life imprisonment without parole. Parole means temporarily he will be sent out of jail on some situations. Okay, so if you don't send him out of jail, but you just sentence him to life imprisonment till his death, he will be in jail only. So naturally he will die, you know, without giving this or hanging or giving lethal injections or something. So this is one situation. Okay, then what are the important judgments? Okay, so whenever we are writing about one issue which is legal, which is having legal importance, okay, try to add Supreme Court judgments, famous Supreme Court judgments. For every issue, at least one Supreme Court judgment will be there. Many will be there, but one most important thing will be there. Like on death penalty, you have this Bachan Singh versus State of Punjab, where Supreme Court in the recent times said the death penalty should not be a norm. It should be only awarded in rare and rarest of the cases. Okay, so that is why it is so much important. Okay, so when you write these things, it will become a value addition for your preparation. Okay, then you have Ediga Annamma versus State of Andhra Pradesh case, 1974 old case. In this, Supreme Court said, okay, life imprisonment for the offense of murder is the rule, but capital punishment is the only exception. Means in case of that sentence, okay, in normal murder, life imprisonment can be given, but if that murder is done in a unnatural way or very heinous way, then you can award capital punishment. In same Bachan Singh versus State of Punjab also, it said only in rarest of the cases only you should award death sentence. And in this particular case, it said special reason should be given why you are awarding death penalty. Judge also should give his justification. Okay, then how are executions carried across the world? Means almost so many countries in the recent times have taken back this awarding death penalty and all, but 55 countries across the world globally, they are following this practice of awarding death penalty, but they are following their own practices. Like in India, we are giving death penalty means we are hanging that person till death, okay, till his death. Okay, then in US, if you have seen, till recent times lethal injections is followed, but now they're using nitrogen gas. Okay, so but in China, if you see, if they used to fire that person, firing squad means 4 or 5 persons will shoot at that person till he die. That is one practice. In Iran also there is. In Saudi Arabia, they used to behead that person, means they used to cut his head. Okay, these are the most cruel punishments. Okay, so that that are getting executed across the world. But if you have seen in the recent times, Supreme Court, when it asked the center to look into this issue, Law Commission in its 183rd report, it said rather than hanging a person to death, okay, the giving lethal injections seems to be somewhat humane. That is what the recommendation made by Law Commission to the central government in this regard. Okay, and do remember, Law Commission's recommendations are only advisory, it is not binding on the government. Okay, so let's see how this will move into the recent times. Okay, how it will proceed further. Okay, whether we are going towards more human way, or whether we are going to be somewhat we want to maintain some deterrence, or these things we will know in the future. So this is what you have to know from this particular issue. Okay, now it is the time for practice question. If you have seen theme based PYQ, okay, so this question, why? Because nitrogen related question, it is not related to death penalty, but when we are studying about one gas, because it happened for the first time in the world, so when it happens for first time, UPSC will focus on those things. Okay, it can ask see, death penalty and all these issues is important for mains, but UPSC can focus on the sources of nitrogen and all. So you need to know what are natural sources and what are artificial sources in which nitrogen can be produced. Okay, so if you see, this is a question asked in 2013 prelims. So in which of the following following way, nitrogen is added to the soil. They're asking about soil. Keep this in mind, okay? So excretion of urea by animals. Yes, urea adds this nitrogen to the soil, correct. Then burning of coal by man, okay. If coal is burnt, then it releases nitrogen into the atmosphere but not into the soil. So this is the wrong option. Then death of vegetation. If any living organism dies, then it also degrades, no, that also will add nitrogen into the soil, okay. So 1 and 3 should be the answer. It is C, okay. In this way you think basic things, okay, right. What is the practice question for prelims? Consider the following statements. Nitrogen asphyxiation in disease is caused by deficiency in nitrogen. This is the first statement. Pure nitrogen gas does not have the potential to kill a person, rather it creates only suffocation. Which of the following statements are not correct? Okay, so here understand it is not correct. Okay, answer in the comment section. Then mains question, it is said that capital punishment provides neither justice nor deterrence against any crime. Do you agree? Justify your answer. Okay, so this is a practice question for mains. So you should argue both in favor and against of death penalty. Okay, so this is the end of the video. Today we have discussed about nitrogen hypoxia. So why it is in news? It happened first time in the world. So what are the various practices followed by various countries in ending the person's life, and we have seen special reference to death penalty in India. What is the practice? What are the legal remedies available, and what are the famous Supreme Court judgments regarding death penalty? So these are the main components which we have discussed as part of this video. Stay tuned for further more videos. Thank you.